What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the channel, I am your host, Rashid. My boy on the other side of the panel there is Beric.
What's going on, guys? Pleasure as always.
All right, so we're a little late in the game with this, man, but it's all right. It's still a hot topic. Minnesota holds the games due to the shooting of Daunte Wright. And Beric, take us off with that, man.
Yeah, man. The bottom line of this situation is you're still trying to heal from the George Floyd situation in Minneapolis. And then you have this happen to Daunte Wright. And it just sickens me. And I'm just going to come out right here and right now. It just sickens me that you look at black folks, especially young black folks, falling victim to police violence. You cannot sit here and tell me in more ways than one how you not be able to differentiate the difference between a stun gun, okay, and a regular pistol. We got a problem with that. But I commend I commend all the sports franchises for not playing that particular week or the early part of that week due to the shootings. We're going to try to stick to that concept right now. I don't want to go knee deep into the politics of this because it's really going to drive me up the wall, and it has since the moment I heard it happen. But I commend the sports franchises for doing that. The Minnesota Twins, you had the Timberwolves, and I think you have the Minnesota, I forgot the name of the hockey team over there as well, the Minnesota Wild. They all decided to stick together as one and not play. And I commend them for that. I really do. At the end of the day, this situation right now with what happened to Daunte Wright, getting killed during a traffic stop, this has got to stop, man. This has got to stop. I mean, I'm getting sick and freaking tired. Every single time I turn around, there's a black man being shot by a police officer who just happened to be white.
People's not going to like my take on this, man. That's all right. They
Okay.
can trap me in the comments anyway, and I know
They can trap all of us on these because the bottom line is the fact. So that's my goal.
Listen. My boy, listen, he was getting arrested by the police. He ran. Now we know that every single people, they're gonna make mistakes at their jobs. I mean, we could probably do a part 2 of this. I think if Kenneth actually sees this, he's gonna want to chime in on this, and I actually have more prep. But we seen cops being killed on the roadside, by different felons, by different people, a lot. It's been happening more and more frequently, probably since in the last 10 years in a sense. And these cops are scared, man. I mean, they want to make it home at the end of the day to their family.
Well, see, this is the one thing I always say. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish what you guys say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So he ran, and he tried to flee, and it looked like that. We seen the African American officer trying to get him out of the car. He had a warrant for arrest for armed robbery. He struck in front of the woman's face for $825,000. He was on a $100,000 bail warrant. He never showed up for that. And we gotta make better choices, man. I'm gonna show the video of him flashing the guns and that doesn't have any type of regard for firearm safety. He's driving, waving the gun. He's 20 years old. He's not supposed to be even in possession of a gun. He's supposed to be 21 years old at least. So that's a problem right there. He has a Hennessy in his hand. And I'm not saying that's a reason to actually get killed or anything like that. But
no, it's not.
But listen, you got caught, you got arrested. Don't try to flee because stuff like this can actually happen. It's the same thing with we driving the bus out there. I tell people all the time, one day you're gonna run into somebody that's gonna make a mistake, and you cut us off, and you're gonna catch the wrong person one day that just don't know what the hell they're doing in a sense, or they just make a mistake, or they don't react in time in a sense though. So he ran, and he had a felony warrant out for his arrest. So that's gonna put a heightened sense of security in these officers' minds already, especially in the female, because we know they actually get scared very easily just based on the way their brains are actually wired. I mean, I don't want to get into human anatomy here.
She's a police officer, bro. She's a police officer.
I hear you, but you can't escape human anatomy in a sense, though. They get much more fearful in a sense, though. Who's the one that's telling you out there? More than anything, women, right?
Right.
You gotta put a mask on. No men are telling me that, because the women are actually scared.
Yeah,
actually wired in a sense, though. So
she may be wired that way, but she has a pistol on her right side. All right, and she has a stun gun on her left side, on her both sides of her utility belt. She's fully aware of what the procedures are, man or woman.
So listen, it's not just Daunte Wright that she put in, that she shot. She put a fellow officer, the African male officer, in danger of being shot, the passenger in the car being shot, and the actual the other officer, the sergeant, actually standing on the other side of the car there. Every single one of them will actually put in danger due to her negligence there, you know. But is it murder? I don't know if it's actually murder per se, but I think it's at least minimal manslaughter, because you did make a mistake.
She's being charged for manslaughter. She's being charged for manslaughter. Bottom line, she's being charged for manslaughter because did he actually turn around and aim that pistol towards her? The answer is no. Now, he was waving everything, and he has a warrant and all that stuff, but brother, it doesn't justify the shooting. Was it a clean shooting? That is the question they'll always ask. That's the question IA will ask the officer in the meeting. Was it a clean shoot? And the answer is no, it wasn't a clean shoot.
Yeah, I think it was an accident, because like I said, she put a lot. It's not just Daunte Wright. It's the other officers, her fellow brethren there, in the sense though, that she actually put in danger. You know, and listen, I know if it was you and I that has a gun, right, Barrick? And you know, as a firearms holder, we're responsible for every single bullet that actually leaves the chamber. So if it hits somebody, even if we actually defending our lives and under duress, we're still responsible for every single bullet as an actual citizen there. So police officers aren't above the law in a sense, though, but I think they get a little bit more immunity because of the type of, you know, they got to go after, like, you know, dangerous felons in a sense, where you and I in that type of situation, and we call somebody in a felony warrant, we just get to walk away from that. They have to actually dive into that. So sometimes mistakes actually do happen.
Yeah, she says she intended to use the taser gun. She intended to use it, but her hand was on the pistol. Now listen to me. Listen, hold on a second. We're trying to follow the logics of this, okay? Now you talk about what you just said. Let's try to follow the logic of this. Follow this. She was trying to reach for the teaser, but she grabbed the gun. The gun has to be cocked. It has to be put in a position where it's ready to fire. You understand that? And she did that. It's an automatic weapon, and she fired it. The tasers operate completely different. So how does she not know what exactly she's in possession of? That's the question. Now it's going to go down. It says on all the records he was accidentally shot. I don't see how that's an accident.
I'm pulling up the video here. Let's see. You know, he gets back into the car.
You see? Look at that. You see that? That gun is right in front of her face.
Yeah,
it's not yellow. Not yellow. What?
We gotta do more research on this, man.
Oh man, listen, we've done pretty good research on this. We've done pretty good research on this. I mean, they calling it an accidental shooting. First thing she did was resign. And why would you resign? because you know you did wrong.
No, I'm not. She's wrong. I mean, I'm not saying she's right. I'm not defending the officer, but I mean, she's definitely wrong for what she actually did. She made a mistake. I mean, just like the guy that drove the bus.
You made a mistake. That's a big mistake, bro. You gotta listen, man. You are in a position where you are having to serve the public trust and uphold the law. That's what you were sworn to do. Okay? Did she do that? Did she do procedure in that position? No. Now was Daunte right as well? No pun intended. No, he wasn't. If he was being pulled over due to the fact that he was erratic, and he already has a warrant against him, I understand them pulling him over. They pulled a regular traffic stop. They did the check on him, and they found out
with a felony warrant. I mean, he's known to be armed. He's pulled a gun on somebody, a woman, as a matter of fact. And we see all of these videos of cops being shot on at traffic stops. A traffic stop is the most dangerous, position that a police officer can actually be in a sense, though. So we have to take that all into account there.
You got to account for all that, but I'm telling you, at the end of the day, my brother, she had that gun in her hand for at least what seemed to be a minute and a half at the most, and that gun was way in front of her. And she fired that weapon. If you were trying to get the taser gun, you would have had that in your hand. Or you would try to... See, everything's happening so fast, so it's kind of easy for us to sit there and say, oh, you should do this and should do that. When you're in the heat of battle, I understand that. You reached for that gun. You reached for that gun. You knew you had that gun. You had to cock and aim that gun, and then you fired that gun.
Listen, I don't think she was honestly mentally prepared for the situation. I mean, because if it was me, I would be, like if I'm driving, I'm prepared for somebody to run out in front of me every second I'm driving a car, and every second in a sense, though, and what type of procedures I'm going to take. You got to make split-second decisions in a sense, though. So, we're gonna wrap this video up. I'm gonna let Kenneth watch this, and he may want to come on and give his input. And we'll do probably a part 2 of this, and we got to look at all the gangster rap culture, and we got to see what's going on. And it's putting, these officers are actually people too, man, and it's actually making them much more fearful in a sense. They're much more leery,
Listen, the public trust in the police department has not been the same for decades. It has not been the same since the 70s. Okay. Well, no, because I could go right now and say, hey, I had a cousin that fell victim to police force in 1977. There was no media. There was no media back then.
13 million black people in this country. I think it was in 2019, 9 people got killed out of 13 million black people at the hands of police. I mean,
when was this? This year?
No, 2019.
Okay, I'm going back to 1977, brother. You said the
first time this year this actually happened. So when I see Kevin Durant, this is happening all the time. I'm like, no, it's not. It's happened one time out of millions and millions.
No, see, you're wrong. See, you're wrong on that, because the bottom line is he's just throwing out a lyric. He's just throwing out a sentence. I'm going and telling you personally, from the 70s alone, I lost a family member to that. From the 70s. And there was no media coverage back then except for the regular news coverage. That was it. All right? This has been going on for decades. And whether it's 9 people or 20 people, this has been going on for a long damn time. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
I hear you. It happens to whites too. More whites was actually killed in 2019 than black people at the hands of police. So, I mean, it's just police brutality, and there's millions and millions more whites than there are black people out there, man. And so,
we don't have an accurate number. We don't have an accurate number on that. And listen. The bottom line is, I'm not saying that if that's happening, which, I mean, everyone gets shot mistakenly. But when it happens to a black person, when it happens to a black man, more importantly, except the Breonna Taylor situation, all right? When it happens to a black man, it gets big time news, because we're living in a racial time, stronger than ever.
You know what? That kid that got shot in Chicago, he was 13. I think he was Spanish. Let's see how big that actually gets. Because he wasn't black, it probably won't get any type of big time coverage at all.
He was 13 years old and got shot in the chest.
Yeah. He had a gun.
Okay.
He did have a gun.
He dropped the gun. He turned around and dropped the gun.
Well, he picked it out. He took it out of his pocket. The officers didn't see him drop it, but then he turned around like he was.
When he turned around, his hands was free. He had both his hands in the air, and he got shot in the chest.
But I don't think this is going to be a big story because he wasn't black.
Well, he got shot. It's a 13-year-old kid that got shot. But he was game banging.
At 2:30 in the morning. I mean, they showed the whole video. I seen the whole video of him shooting.
I've seen it too.
Yeah,
I've seen it too.
Shooting guns. 13 years old, 2:30 in the morning. What the hell? What's going on? Where your parents at, man?
But when you put the politics to the concept, this is what happens, brother. When you look at every situation from every particular community, you see the bad things happen to everybody in the community. You see it happen. People getting robbed. You see what happened to the kid in the Bronx a couple of years ago who got chased down into a grocery store. He was Latin.
Yeah.
He was Latin. That got a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, it's happening.
That was heinous, man. I mean, what happened to Joe?
It was heinous, but when it happens to a black man, it gets more coverage because we're living in that kind of time, not just now, but then. Like you said before, the media is covering things a lot more now than ever. But you see what happened in Charlottesville. You see what happened at the Capitol. All these things right now. The one black man that was in the Capitol, right, who was running up those steps, he got arrested, and guess what happened? He's still locked up. All of them else are gone, right? That got attention too. Anytime something happens to a black man, it gets attention. That's just the way it's going to be. It's the way it's going to be.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. I got to get up in the morning. And, if you like the video, listen, smash that damn like button, man. We're not selling Bibles. We're not selling anything. Actually, give the damn video a like. Jesus, now watch it. Give the video a like. Like the video. Comment.
And again, we come by this place, right? Hit the like button, subscribe. But I always want to say one thing. Well, again, major ups to all the Minnesota sports franchises for doing what they did that day.
All right. Barrick and I are going to disagree with this one, and then we'll see what Kenneth thinks. If he wants to come on, and debate this more, then it's going to be a 2-against-1 on here. I can see that already.
All right, guys.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.